Hello, everybody. This is Sarah coming to you live here. And today we're going to be talking about pendulums. So if you know me in real life, you know that I often have a pendulum with me, and I just really enjoy using pendulums as part of some basic divination. And I just like having it around. So I want to talk about what a pendulum is. I have three here to show you. So a pendulum is basically something that has, like, some of them only have a little crystal at the top or a little bead, but it is something that has a chain or a string coming down, something to hold it up at the top. Now, this one has beautiful etching in it and some type of rock or crystal coming down. You can make a homemade pendulum with even a ring that you can do, but these are pendulums that I have purchased. And this one even has some geometric, beautiful symbols on there. See if I can get it. I don't know if it'll focus in on it, but this is my first pendulum. And this one actually, I believe this is, I don't remember the name of the stone right now. They'll come to me. Starts with a C, but I just can't remember. So that's my first pendulum. That one actually, I have gifted this pendulum to one of my kids because it works better for him than it does for me. It gives him more reliable answers, and so he likes that one. But another one that I have is one that has a quartz on the tip, and then it has a bunch of really cool stones in there. And then it has the chain with a bead at the top. And so that's my second one. And then the third one, which is my all-time favorite pendulum. This is the pendulum that is most aligned with my energy. It has an Egyptian ankh for the in place of the bead at the top, and then it comes down and it has an agate. So it's just beautiful. It's very simple, but it works really well with my energy. So when I'm using my pendulum, I always want to make sure to either I want to make sure to cleanse my pendulums and to have them really high vibrational. So some of the ways that I do that is I put them out to charge under either the full moon or the new moon to really get the moon energy in the crystals and just in the pendulum itself, since I want them as high vibrational as I can. Another thing that I do to charge them up is I will put them out in the sun for a while. Sunlight has just this magnificent way to charge your crystals and to energize them and to really just ground them back into the earth and just to give them all of their power. And so I will put them in the sun or under running water. So I will sometimes run them under cool water itself because colder water works better. But one thing I've thought of trying, which I haven't yet, is one of those like rock fountains that has the water just running through it. I had thought that would be a really cool way to charge my crystals. So that is what a pendulum is and how to cleanse it. So those are a couple of tips on how to cleanse it. And another tip before you start using your pendulum, do that. Drink water. Make sure you have your energy. When we drink water, it helps our energy flow better. And make sure there's no alcohol in there. So do not use a pendulum, or I advise not to use a pendulum. You can do what you want to do and you can choose to do that, but I just do not recommend using a pendulum if you are having any substances, alcoholic drinks, anything like that. I do not think that it's a good combination to be mixing them, and I think that you might be getting your energy might be off because of the substances, and I don't think you're going to get good information, and I just don't think it's wise. So to cleanse it, water, sunlight, and you also want to make sure that you are cleansed by using water and sunlight. Okay, so now that we've talked a little bit about what a pendulum is, how to cleanse it, how do you use your pendulum? So when you're using it, you just put it right in between your two fingers. I just like to hold it like this, and that basically that's how I hold it. When I'm using my pendulum, I always, to start, so when you first get a new pendulum, you always want to ask it something that you know the answer to. Like, what is your name? Like, ask it, my name is Sarah. And when I say my name is Sarah, it's going to give me an answer. And for me, spinning clockwise means yes, but your pendulum might be going up and down, or it might be doing something different. So you need to see what your pendulum, how it moves for you. And if I were to say something like, my name is Mike, obviously that is not true. Then for me, my pendulum will swing to the side. If I have a question that the pendulum doesn't know the answer to, for me, the pendulum just swings back and forth. It doesn't have a circular motion if the pendulum doesn't know the answer. So that is how I make sure to use my pendulum, is you make sure that you know which direction your pendulum is for a yes, which direction your pendulum is for a no. And then if it doesn't give you a clear symbol of one of those, then the answer is not for you to know at this time. It might be yours to know in a week or in a couple of days. Maybe something needs to transpire in your life before you are able to use the pendulum or to make a choice with it. But from my perspective, it typically goes yes or no, or it gives you a non-answer. And typically when I start, I will start by asking, pendulum, can I ask you a question? Almost always I get a yes like this, thank you. And then once I say thank you, it just stops. And then I'm able to ask my pendulum a question. And it's like I could say, is it a good idea for me to go on a walk outside today? And the pendulum is giving me a very clear no, thank you. Now, I'm going to tell you what, I'm taking a little break from my walking just for today, because I have been walking for quite a few miles over the past 2 weeks, and I think my body and my knees just need a one-day rest just to reset. So the pendulum kind of read my thoughts on what I was thinking, that I want to walk again tomorrow, and today would be an okay day to walk. But I really, the kindest thing that I can do for me right now is to just take a day of rest. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So those are the basics on how to use a pendulum. Make sure you're drinking water while you're using it. Make sure you ask permission to use it if it's okay with the pendulum, if the pendulum has the right energy for you. There are times that my pendulum says no, and I need to respect it and put it away. And then I can come back the next day or the next week or whatever, because maybe my energy is not in a place that I'm going to be able to be that conduit for the answers that I'm seeking. So those are a couple of things. And if you are really unsure, you can purchase, I have seen them at crystal shops, you can purchase pendulum templates, pendulum boards that have it carved in there, yes, no, and maybe, and or unsure. And then it just, you can use it that way as well. But I prefer just seeing which way the pendulum wants to do its motion, and then asking the pendulum questions, and then familiarizing my energy with it. So, and like I said, the pendulums are going to work different for you based on the stones, based on your connection with it. Like this one, I think especially works really well with me because of the connection to Egypt. So that's where I think I have a very close connection with this pendulum because of that. And I have also had more pendulums than this, but often I use them. And if I don't find the right vibe for it, then those are pendulums that I will have sitting out. And if friends of mine are interested in it, I'll let them try it. And if it's a pendulum that's working for them and they are really attracted to it and really like it, then I'll just gift it to them. And so I do buy pendulums, and I do like to test them out before purchasing them and bringing them home. But even if you test them and purchase it, it might be like this beauty here. She is beautiful and she does work for me. And she was the best pendulum that was there when I purchased it. But again, it's just not quite the right fit. So, and one of my kids just really ended up having a good connection with this one. And so that is their pendulum that they get to use then because of it. All right. If you guys have any questions about pendulums or how to use pendulums, definitely put them in the comments below and I would love to answer them. And I hope you guys have an amazing night and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.